this question asks, what's the sum of the measures of angles in a triangle? So we have three various triangles here. This is a right triangle, a equilateral triangle, and this is an irregular one. So let's tell you that the sum of the angles in a triangle, okay, in other words, this angle plus that angle all need to add up to be 180 degrees. Okay. So let's say this is 60 degrees. Do you remember what measure that is? A right angle is 90 degrees. So what would this angle have to be in order to get 180 for all three angles there? Okay, if you say 30 degrees, you are correct. Okay. So this is an equilateral triangle in which, let's say this is 60, this is 60. What would be the measure of that missing angle there? Remember, all three needs to add up to be 180. Okay, so if you say 60, you are correct. 60 times 3 is 180. Okay. So let's say this is 100 degrees. And let's say this is 40 degrees. What would be the measure of that missing angle there in order to add up to be 180? So if you say this is 40, you are correct. So pretty straightforward here. Now, keeping this in mind, let's look at a situation where we're going to apply that knowledge here towards an example. Okay, so the going to give you a right triangle to look at. So let's draw it out. So let's say this is given a right triangle like this. Okay, remember a right triangle has a 90-degree angle there. So let's say this is x plus 8 degrees. And let's say this one is 3x minus 10 degrees. Okay. The question is, what is our good pal x? So what is x there in each of those angles? Okay. So in order to solve this, step one, we're going to need to agree that the sum of the angles in a triangle is what? 180 degrees, right? So let's make a note of this. Okay. Therefore, you've got 90 degrees here, right? So this is 90 degrees. So let's put that down, 90 plus x plus 8 plus 3x minus 10. Okay, altogether is equal to 180. Okay, oh, this is a great starting point. Now, all we need to do is solve for x. So let's combine the like term. Okay. The like terms, meaning we can combine the x terms together. So let's say x plus 3x. And then we'll combine the constant term, 90 plus 8 minus 10. Okay, so x plus 3x, get 4x. 90 plus 8 is 98 minus 10, so we have 88. Okay, equals 180. Now, the question is asking for x. Let's get x by itself. We need to get rid of the 88. So what's the opposite of plus 88? Okay, subtract 88 from both sides. So we have 4x is equal to 180 minus 88. So I have 92. So let's get rid of the 4. You have x times 4. So to undo it, we're going to divide by 4. Which will cancel it out. X ultimately is equal to 92 divided by 4. So 4 can go into 9 2 times with a 1 remainder, so it's 23. Okay, so we have answered the question. X is equal to 23. So let that sink in, and we're moving on to what's called vertical angles. So the question for you is, what are vertical angles? Building up muscle erasing this whiteboard here. Okay. So, again, what are vertical angles? I always get CAL and CLE confused here. So vertical is here is CAL. Okay. So if you ever come across these words, they are like, if you have two lines that intersect, these here are vertical angles. Okay? Angles that are opposite of each other. And then you might have a little something like this. Almost look like a bow tie. Okay, so even these are vertical angles here. Okay, so please draw straight lines on your paper. Okay, so what I would like you to get out of this is that it is a fact that vertical angles are congruent. So vertical angles are congruent. Meaning they are equal. Okay? So in other words, this angle is the same as this angle here. If that's 15, this is 15. Okay? So this angle is the same as that angle there. Okay? So just want to make sure here. Let's say this is 25 degrees. If this is 25, this guy needs to be 25 degrees because they are vertical angles of each other. Okay? So, I'm having a blast drawing these angles here, so hoping you are too. Okay. So let's say this is 82 degrees. What would be the measure of this angle here? You're right. This is also 82 degrees. Okay? That's all, folks.